Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, so make sure to like, subscribe, and follow so that way you don't miss out on a second of the coverage. If you're an everydayer, I appreciate you. If you're not an everydayer, let me tell you what it is. An everydayer is someone who likes, they subscribe, they comment. We talk in the comment section all day, every day. I try to be very responsive so that way we can have a lot of fun in the comment section within reason. Obviously, we don't do dirty attacks, if you will. But let's dive into the impact of Deion Sanders leaving or staying with Colorado. I'll start with him leaving first because obviously I think the impact would be greater. I talked about this yesterday, but I'll bring it up again. Deion Sanders' impact goes well beyond the football field in Boulder. First of all, like I said, highest GPA in team history. That's nothing to scoff at. I think in this era of NIL, in this era of the transfer portal, we often forget that at the end of the day, they are in fact students. The student athlete name is dead, but they are in fact students. Not everyone's going to go pro. Some of these guys need a clear path to another career, and Deion Sanders is setting his players up to find just that. He's had multiple instances of bringing in, whether it be firemen for someone who wants to be a fireman, whether it be whatever it is, players or inspirational speakers coming to talk about aspects of life. He is setting his players up to succeed off the field. So let's talk about what Colorado's losing in Deion Sanders. You're losing a phenomenal mentor. You're losing a great resource, right? You're losing someone who has boosted the local economy by $113 million, or at least in 2023, $113.2 million brought into the local economy. Colorado's bowl game this year against BYU. Now, granted, BYU has a large following as well, so that probably played a factor. 8 million people watched that game. It was the most watched bowl game outside the college football playoff. 5 seasons combined before Deion Sanders was in Boulder. 19 wins. Deion Sanders is at 13 wins in 2 years, so he'll probably surpass that mark next year, assuming he stays. Colorado had its highest AP ranking since 2016, and it's the second time they finished ranked in the college football playoff. Then another thing that they would be losing is a stellar recruiter. He's brought in 3 of the program's top 6 highest ranked recruits: Jordan Seaton, Cormani McClain, who I think had Cormani stuck around, I would really like to see what he been, but obviously it didn't work out there. And Julian Lewis was the highest ranked quarterback in program history. So Coach Prime, you're losing someone who makes this program popular, someone who brings the local economy. He's someone who cares about the community of Boulder, and he's someone who attracts top talent, right? I think if he were to leave, you'd probably see a lot of the guys that came to Boulder to play for him, they'd probably also depart. I don't think that's what Colorado fans would want. Obviously, it'd be detrimental to the program and probably set them back a few years, especially leaving in January right now. Oh, that'd be tough, right? Because if Deion Sanders were to leave, if Coach Prime were to leave, Colorado's coaching search would be quite complicated, right? Do you go with Robert Livingston, even though it's his first year? It was his first year as a coordinator. Do you elevate him to head coach? Do you go with Pat Shurmur, who I think doesn't really have the cachet to be a head coach at the college football level and attract top recruits? Or do you maybe go try to poach someone who's at a job or just took a new job, like Brendan Marion at Sac State? Like, I think it would be really complicated, and I think it would be very devastating to Colorado if he were to leave. Now, if he's to stay, what is Colorado getting? Well, the ultimate confidence in the program, right? If Deion Sanders stays, the new narrative is Deion Sanders chose Colorado over the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys, that's obviously one of, if not the biggest job in American sports. And Coach Prime, if he stays, is choosing to be in Boulder coaching the Buffs. So I think if you're Colorado, that is a recruiting pitch. That is a sales pitch to every recruit, every transfer that, hey, I had the best offer in football and I chose to stay here. And I think that shows a long-term investment. And that could be honestly a play for Deion Sanders in general, right? Maybe there's never a consideration that he's going to leave, right? Maybe he's just playing the game a little bit and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to drag this out, make it seem like I'm thinking about it, and then I'm going to stay here. And then guess what? I'm going to say, you know what? I chose Colorado over the Dallas Cowboys. That would be a huge selling point, a huge victory. I think all the negative recruiting that programs try to throw at Colorado, it would kind of have the wind sucked out of their sails. Pause. Because realistically, what are you going to negatively recruit now, right? You could say, well, Deion Sanders considered going to the NFL. And then my response would be, well, yeah, but it was a coach's son's and he decided not to. So that didn't work. And then it was, okay, well, he wanted the Dallas Cowboys job. And it's like, okay, well, the Dallas Cowboys job, say they hire Kellen Moore, that job's not going to open for another 3 to 4 years. So you have that to work with to your advantage. So I think Deion Sanders, realistically, if he stays, Colorado will be in a tremendous spot because you think of, just a second, excuse me. You think of what he's done on the field. The program's competing at an extremely high level. They were in the playoff contention for, excuse me, that cough is killer. So if you have any remedies for a cough that's been there for a week and a half, let me know, please. But back to what I was saying. If Coach Prime stays, you're building off a 9-4 season. You're building off a season where you had the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, the Johnny Unitas Golden Arm winner, the Heisman winner, the Thorpe Award, not the Thorpe Award winner, excuse me, the Blitnikoff Award winner. All of these awards. You had multiple all Big 12 guys. You were a win away from being in the Big 12 championship. They don't lose that Kansas game. They're in the Big 12 title, and they're playing against Iowa State or whoever, and I think they could beat any of those teams, right? So Coach Prime would have that as a springboard, and you have on-field success paired with, hey, I'm not leaving Boulder. I've proven it time and time again. I think Colorado would be buzzing. And so this is a really, really interesting scenario. I think Coach Prime, of all people, knows how to maximize the attention he gets. I think he knows how to maximize the moment, and I think he's doing just that. So I personally don't think he's going to leave, and I'm going to talk about why in the next segment. But if he were to leave, it'd be detrimental to the program, obviously. If he were to stay, I think Colorado would be riding a new high. Like, I think the hype around Colorado, the buzz around Colorado would be even more palpable. And so if Coach Prime stays, Colorado's going to be in a great position. When we come back, is he going to stay? Is he going to go? I'm going to give you my thoughts on the situation. This episode of Locked On Buffs, it's brought to you by our sponsors over at PrizePicks. This message is brought to you by PrizePicks, the place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in winning, PrizePicks has changed the game in daily fantasy sports. Whether it's the playoffs or regular season, PrizePicks has made it easier than ever to win big while enjoying all the football action. Now, it's playoff time, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with PrizePicks. Here's how it works. You simply pick more or less on at least 2 players, and if your picks hit, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. That's right, 1,000 times your money just by making a few simple picks. For me, I'm all about the hot takes this season. This week on PrizePicks, I'm looking at Lamar Jackson for more than 250 yards and Travis Kelce for more than 70 receiving yards. It's fun to predict and easy to play. Plus, with PrizePicks Flex Play, you can still double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And with the app, you get your winnings fast, sometimes in as little as 15 minutes. Ready to run to your game this football season. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 just for playing. Don't wait. Take the game to the next level with PrizePicks. PrizePicks, run your game. Welcome back to Locked On Buffs. Appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast, so make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, so that way you don't miss out on a second of the coverage. I appreciate all the support that you guys give me. The show would not be possible without the everydayers, the people who tune in, they subscribe, they give me 5 stars. You make the show possible, and I want you guys to know that. Let's talk about my thoughts. There's a lot going on up here in this head. I'm getting a new haircut kind of soon. I changed up the hairstyle a little bit. It's going to look a little bit more new. I'm going to let this grow back right here, the little part. I'm trying something new, okay? But there's a lot going on inside this head, not just outside as well. Colorado, Coach Prime, Dallas Cowboys, Las Vegas Raiders, whatever. I ultimately think that Deion Sanders is going to stay in Colorado. I think he's playing this game of I'm going to get leverage, whether it's for his contract, which I don't think that's the case, or maybe so he could get more support, right? Maybe he wants more support from the fans. He wants more NIL investment, because at the end of the day, Colorado is not the Texas of the world. It's not the Ohio States of the world. They don't have this monster NIL collective or donors that are just throwing millions of dollars at you. So he needs all the help he could get in building up this roster. I don't think Deion Sanders is going to the NFL. I don't know if the NFL, maybe in the future, right? I don't know if the NFL is where he would thrive, right? I think Deion Sanders is best set to inspire the future, build up young men, and I think he just is great for the sport of college football, and I think he knows that, right? I think if he goes to the NFL, I'm not going to say he's not going to be famous anymore. That'd be the stupidest thing ever to say. But I don't know if his reach or impact would be as great, right? We don't often focus on the coaches in the NFL. We care about the superstars. We care about the Patrick Mahomes of the world. We care about the Josh Allens, the Lamar Jacksons, the Odell Beckham Jr.'s when they're starting, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, whatever it is. We care about the players more so than the coach. And I think Deion Sanders, if he stays in Colorado, which I do think he will, he has a chance to continue to build up the sport because Colorado, with Deion Sanders, has made the sport more popular. We have people who have never watched the sport before tuning in to watch him. And I think he's great for the sport. So I don't see why he'd want to leave, right? If he wants to leave Colorado, I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to he had a hankering to coach in the NFL that we didn't know about, right? And I think that'd be a really tough blow for the sport of college football. I think that'd be a really tough blow for Colorado. But Deion Sanders sort of, I think, is what college football needed, right? I think people are getting blue blood fatigue, right? It's why we expanded the playoff. It's why people are so excited about the NIL and transfer portal era. It's because there's more parity now than ever. There's more teams that are in the mix for contending for the playoff. There's more teams that are in the mix for contending for a title, right? If this was the 14 playoff, Notre Dame's lost to Northern Illinois, they would have not made the playoff, right? They're playing for a title. Ohio State, same thing. They're lost to Oregon and Michigan. Oregon was earlier in the year, Michigan at the end of the year. They wouldn't be playing for the title. So the sport is as wide open as ever. And I think popularity-wise, it's cool to see non-traditional powerhouses have popularity. And Deion Sanders is a prime example of that. And so I think he stays. I think losing him would not only hurt Colorado, but I think it would be detrimental to the sport of college football. And I don't know if he works in the NFL, right? I think he just has so much of a possible impact at the college level. I don't know if it's the same at the NFL level because of where these guys are. They're grown men. They're there to cash checks. They're there to add to their legacy. So I'm putting in my prediction right now about the Deion Sanders saga. I think he stays in Boulder, and I think he uses this moment as leverage to help build Colorado up and is going to be on the sidelines in 2025, leading Colorado to possibly Big 12 title contention and the college football playoff. That's what I think is going to happen. You guys comment below. What do you think is going to happen with this Deion Sanders saga? I appreciate you guys for tuning in every single day, making me your first listen of the day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure to like, subscribe, and follow, and I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope all of you have a great Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed.